You know, we live in a culture that is absolutely obsessed with the winner.
Oh, completely.
History is written by the victors. Second place is the first loser. We have a million sayings for it. We idolize the champion.
Mm-hmm. The ones on the cereal boxes.
Exactly. But I've been thinking a lot about, well, the supporting cast, the people, or in today's case, the animals, who were always in the picture but never the focus.
The ones who fill out the frame so the hero looks good.
Yeah. But here's the question that sent me down this rabbit hole. What happens when the supporting character is actually, well, maybe talented enough to be the hero, but for some cosmic reason just refuses to take the spotlight?
That is a very specific kind of problem to have. It sounds maddening. I mean, most people would probably crack under that pressure, right? Being so close, but never quite getting there.
It does. And today, that is exactly what we're doing a deep dive on. We're looking at a stack of research on the Japanese horse racing boom of the 1990s.
Okay.
But we aren't talking about the champions. We're talking about a horse named Royce and Royce.
A name so nice they named him twice.
I promised myself I wouldn't make that joke, but you just can't avoid it. But look, this isn't just a sports story. This is a deep dive into the psychology of almost. It's about why thousands of fans fell in love with a horse they called the bronze collector and the strongest maiden.
It really is a fascinating case study. I was looking through the race records, and it's genuinely baffling. Usually if a horse doesn't win, they fade away.
Yeah.
But Royce and Royce became this cult hero specifically because he couldn't close the deal.
So let's set the stage, because to understand why he was such an anomaly, you have to get the era he was born into. This is Japan, early 90s.
Right. And horse racing is becoming this huge pop culture phenomenon. And this is the golden generation of the 1993 classic season.
If you follow Japanese racing at all, you know these names, the BNW trio.
Biwahaya Hide, Narita Taishin, and Winning Ticket. I mean, these were the protagonists of the story. They were dominant, they were flashy, they were trading wins in all the biggest races.
These are the heavy hitters. And then dropped right into the Shark Tank is our guy, Royce and Royce. And looking at his paperwork, he wasn't supposed to be an underdog, was he?
Oh, not at all. On paper, he was absolute royalty. His sire, his father, was Tony Benn.
And that's a name that should make any racing fans sit up straight.
It should.
Yeah.
Tony Benn was an Arc de Triomphe winner in Europe who came to Japan and just completely revolutionized their breeding program. He was known for stamina, for that explosive late speed.
So Royce and Royce is from Tony Benn's very first crop of foals. The expectation isn't just hope he's good, it's this is the future.
Exactly. He has the genetic blueprint. He's at the prestigious Miho Training Center. Everything screams champion.
And then reality hits. And it hits in the weirdest possible way. Walk us through his debut.
So it's December of his 2-year-old season. He runs his first race. Now, for a horse like this, a maiden race, which is for horses who've never won, is usually just a formality.
It's basically orientation day. You show up, you win, you move on.
Right. But Royce and Royce, he runs fine. He doesn't bomb. He finishes second.
Okay, second is fine. A little warm-up.
That's what everyone thought. But this starts a pattern that is, well, it's statistically almost impossible. From his debut through April of the next year, he runs 6 times.
And the results?
5 second-place finishes, 1 third place.
5 silvers. That is agonizing. I mean, in probability terms, to be that good, to beat everyone else but always let one horse past you, that's harder than winning by accident.
It really is. It's like he was magnetic to the runner-up spot. He'd be thundering down the stretch, the crowd is roaring, and Royce would just hang. He'd wait, let someone else cross the wire first.
So this is where he gets that first nickname, right? The strongest maiden.
Yes. And it's such a backhanded compliment, isn't it? It means you are better than all the other losers, but you are not a winner. It's a paradox.
It's purgatory. But here's the thing that surprised me. Usually if you have 0 wins, you're stuck in the minor leagues. But his owners were incredibly ambitious.
Ambitious is one way to put it. They knew he had talent. So despite having 0 wins, they enter him in the Aoba show.
And the Aoba show isn't just some random race.
No, it's a high-stakes trial for the Japanese Derby. The Derby is the Super Bowl for 3-year-olds. Top 2 finishers qualify. That's it.
So winless horse trying to get to the Derby. The movie script writes itself. He comes charging down the stretch.
And he finishes 3rd.
Of course he does.
He missed it by 1 spot. He ran a magnificent race, beat some great horses, but he did just enough to impress everyone without actually getting the prize.
That's his whole career in a nutshell. So at this point, he's got 7 starts, 0 wins, 5 seconds, 2 thirds. He is literally famous for losing.
But the fans started to latch onto it. Japanese racing culture. They loved the character of the horse. They saw this horse trying his heart out and getting nothing for it. He became this symbol for the salaryman who works overtime but never gets the promotion. He was relatable.
I feel that. So does he ever actually break the curse?
He does. In his 8th start, the stars finally aligned. Royce and Royce crossed the finish line first.
Hallelujah. The curse is broken. Now the floodgates open, right?
You would think so. Psychologically, we talk about learning to win. Once an athlete gets over that hump, they relax and dominate.
But not Royce and Royce.
No. He treated that win like a clerical error. His very next race, the Radio Tampa High, 3rd place. Then 2 more races, 2nd, and 2nd again.
It's incredible. He's like a thermostat set to almost.
And the fans, they immediately updated his nickname. He went from the strongest maiden to the strongest one-win horse.
I love the specificity. It's not an insult. It's an accurate statistical observation.
And this leads us to the autumn. Despite having only 1 lonely win, he targets the Kikishiv.
The 3rd leg of the Triple Crown.
Yeah.
A brutal 3,000-meter marathon.
The ultimate test of stamina.
Yeah.
He gets into a trial race, where he finished 2nd, obviously, and suddenly he's in the big one. And look at the betting board. You've got the superstars. And then as the 4th favorite is Royce and Royce, a horse with 1 win.
That is wild. Why were people betting on him? He's proven he won't win.
Because of the place bet. Betting on him to finish in the top 3. For that, he was the safest investment in Japan. He was money in the bank. He'd run 12 times and been in the top 3 12 times.
He's the government bond of racehorses. Low yield, 0 risk.
Until the Kikishiv. That long distance,
Yeah.
it finally broke the streak. He finished 7th.
The first time off the podium.
Yeah, it was reality check. I think the experts figured it was just pure fatigue.
So he hits the wall. But this isn't the end. His real legacy as the bronze collector really gets cemented the next year when he's 4.
Right. He comes back from that loss refreshed. And he actually wins 2 races back-to-back in the summer.
Whoa, slow down. A winning streak for Royce and Royce.
I know, it sounds fake. But he wins in May and August. He is now officially the strongest 2-win horse. He's a legitimate open-class competitor, ready to face the monsters again.
And this sets up the autumn campaign, which is honestly the most impressive stretch of almost I've ever seen.
It is legendary. This is what defines him. It starts with the all-comers, a Grade 2 race. He faces his old rivals. And the result. 3rd, standard procedure. Then, the tennis show, autumn. The Emperor's Prize, one of the biggest races in the country.
The field is just stacked with G1 winners.
It is. The pace is blistering. Royce and Royce weaves through traffic, unleashes his run, and finishes 3rd.
Of course.
And then, the Japan Cup.
Okay, we need to pause here for context. The Japan Cup isn't just a Japanese race.
No, it is the World Championship. Horses fly in from Europe, from America, from Australia, the best of the best. The competition level jumps from hard to impossible.
And here's our boy, the local hero, with a couple of wins. What does he do against the best on the planet?
He runs the race of his life. He fights off champions.
Yeah.
And he crosses the line in 3rd place.
You cannot write this. 3 massive races in a row. 3 bronze medals.
It earned him a permanent spot in racing folklore. He was compared to another famous horse, Nice Nature. They were the bronze collectors. But think about what that means. It means he was undeniably one of the fastest horses in the world. He just wasn't the fastest.
Which brings up that fan psychology again. Why do we love that? If a football team loses in the semifinals 3 years in a row, they're called chokers. But with him, it was affection.
I think it comes down to presence. In racing, the variance is huge. A great horse can have a bad day and finish 12th.
Right, they get blocked, they lose a shoe.
Exactly. But Royce and Royce, he was always there. He never disappeared. When you watched a race, no matter who you bet on, you saw him in the frame. He was part of the story every single time.
He validated the effort. He showed you can be elite without being the winner.
Which brings us to my absolute favorite part of this whole story, the why. Because there's a theory, more of a conspiracy theory, really, from his own jockey.
Ah, yes. The intelligence theory. This comes from Hiroki Goto.
Goto rode him for those 2 rare wins, so he knew what was under the hood. And he said something very strange. He said Royce was unnervingly intelligent.
Intelligent how?
Like understanding the job better than the humans. Intelligent. Goto said the horse would memorize training routines. He knew how many laps to run, when to speed up, when to slow down. He was on autopilot.
Okay, so he's smart. How does that translate to losing?
Well, this is the joke or the hypothesis that Goto put forward. He suggested that Royce and Royce might have actually understood the economics of racing.
Explain.
I mean, think about it biologically. Running at 100% effort is painful. Your lungs burn, your muscles scream, it's trauma. But running at 95%, that's manageable.
And if you finish third, you still get fed. You still get groomed. You get to go home to a nice stall.
Exactly. So Goto's theory is that Royce was quiet quitting. He'd look at the horses in front of him and think, catching them would really hurt. Third place pays the bills. I'm good here.
That is brilliant. It reframes the whole story. He's not a tragic figure who can't win. He's a genius who chooses not to overwork himself.
It's the difference between lacking a killer instinct and having too much self-preservation. If a horse is too smart, maybe they realize a gold trophy doesn't actually taste very good.
Right. You can't eat a trophy. He did just enough to stay in the big leagues, but not enough to carry the weight of the crown.
He was the master of malicious compliance.
Unfortunately, though, biology does catch up. We have to talk about the end of his career, which it takes a darker turn.
It does. He races into his 5-year-old season, but the spark starts to fade. He has one last flash of brilliance, a third place in the Foodie Stakes, naturally. But generally, he stops hitting the board.
He was getting older.
And his 95% effort just wasn't enough anymore. His connections kept racing him, hoping for a revival. But in June, while resting at pasture, tragedy struck. He suffered an intestinal torsion.
Colic, basically.
Yes, a twisted gut. It's common, but it's sudden and terribly painful. There was nothing they could do. He passed away right there.
It's such a somber, abrupt end for a horse that was such a constant presence.
It really was. He didn't get a big retirement ceremony. He just left the stage.
But the numbers he left behind, they're like poetry. I want to read the final tally because I think it perfectly encapsulates his entire life.
Go for it.
28 starts, 3 wins, 9 seconds, 7 thirds.
So 19 times in the top 3 out of 28 races.
And yet, only 3 trips to the winner's circle. It is the most beautiful, frustrating stat line I have ever seen.
It really is. We started this talking about the B&W trio, the winners. And yeah, their names are in the record books. But without Royce and Royce, the story of that era is incomplete.
He was the texture of the generation.
Every great story needs a supporting cast. You need the guy who is almost there to show how hard it actually is. Royce and Royce provided the context for everyone else's greatness.
The ultimate supporting character. And I think that's a legacy that actually matters.
Royce and Royce. He made that feel dignified.
That's a powerful thought. It's not about the highlight reel. It's that when the camera zoomed out, he was always in the picture.
Always.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more.